Are you a beginning photographer and you have just been hired for your first wedding? Well, I have 7 tips for you that you are most prepared for your first wedding. Let's get into it. I have been the main photographer for over 15 weddings. And before we get started in this video, I just want to tell you, being a photographer for a wedding is stressful, it's overwhelming, and it's a difficult job. Why? Because you are capturing one of the most important days of a couple's life. And I think it's really important that you take that seriously. For you, as a photographer, you might get job after job after job, and it becomes a routine. But for this couple, this is a once in a lifetime, or at least hopefully, you always have to remember the couple always comes first. And if you keep that in mind, you'll be in good shape. So, you've been hired for your first wedding, and let's start talking about our first tip. Our first tip is you're not just a photographer. So what does that mean? When you are the photographer, you are with this couple a lot. You are there early, you are there later, you are with this couple sometimes more than the actual family is. You need to be there for this couple, do whatever they need. You can be a timekeeper. I know it's super important to be on track. On a wedding day, time is money because there are so many things happening at one time that your job is more than just taking the photos. It's making sure you're on time, you are keeping on schedule. It's so important to know the schedule and know that you are on time and keeping others on time as well. Also, let's say if there's a conversation between the bride and groom and they don't want to see each other, maybe you have to be the one that goes from back and forth. Just realize that sometimes you're more than just the photographer. You need to be flexible and you need to be able to be there for that couple because ultimately you are trying to do your best to make their day special. Tip 2, scout the venue, if possible, more than once. I always recommend going to the venue, and I know it takes time, money, everything like that, but I recommend going to the venue at least once, if not twice, and plan out your locations of where you want to take photos, where you want to take family portraits, if you want to take groomsmen maybe, or the bridesmaids, or even just finding locations where you want to take the couple photos, maybe finding where the sun sets. You won't really know that until the day of if you just show up. But if you plan ahead and you go to those locations and you find exactly where it is, then on the day of, you look super professional when the couple says, well, I want to go get the sunset in the background. Well, you can say, I know exactly where it's going down and where to go exactly. If you want to look professional, know exactly where you want to go instead of looking really randomly and confused, because that big sign of a person that doesn't know what they're doing. Tip number 3, bring more gear than you think. Depending on how your wedding is going, if you need to put it all in a backpack and you have to carry it around, moving around the location, that can be difficult. Or if you can leave it in your car, or if you can leave it in a secure location, make sure if you bring a bunch of gear that you can keep it in a safe spot. So that's the one caveat. Make sure if you're going to bring your gear that there's a secure location. And I do recommend asking the couple or the location beforehand if there's a secure location before the wedding day, because the last thing that you want to do is bring your gear and you throw it in a corner and then you realize that some guy stole it halfway through the night. You don't want to do that. Going past that, the idea of bringing way more gear than you think is the idea that a wedding is one of the most important days in a couple's life. And to do your best job, sometimes it means bringing the gear that you might not think you might need. Maybe you're the videographer and you didn't think you needed the gimbal, but at the day of, you're at the dancing reception part and it would look super sick to have the gimbal. Then, if you didn't have the gimbal, you're out of luck. But if you brought the gimbal, you can rush to your car and go grab it. Or, focusing more on a photographer, if you didn't have your ND filters, but you just threw it in your bag last minute, then you're set to go. Or even bringing an extra light. For example, I had a wedding that I was shooting with one of my best friends, and we were looking at the reception area. It was super, super dark. And we were like, well, we're not even going to get really great photos. And we were thinking, they're not even really going to be able to see in general. It's really dark and they only have string lights. So what we did is we talked to the couple and we said, can we put this light out and it'll help our photos and it'll help you as the guest and the couple, because it was really, really dark. And they were like, oh, sure, totally. We couldn't afford more lights. So we brought it out and it helped everybody. It was amazing. It helped us in that last moment and it helped everyone out. And I remember right when we were leaving, that couple came up to us and told us that was really amazing of us to be able to help them out as well. If you can bring that extra gear and you can keep it safe, bring it, because you do not know what's going to come up and you don't know what's going to come to mind when you are on that wedding day, and you don't know what you can do to help make your photos, video, whatever, look the best it can. Do your best, bring as much as you can. Tip number 4, family photos take a really long time. The tip here is things take longer than you might think. Especially if you're doing this for the first time, you don't really know how long things take. So one of the things that I recommend is getting a shot list from the family. Every time before a wedding, I would set up at least 2 meetings before the wedding day happens with the couple. And in those meetings, I would ask the couple for a shot list. And that shot list would include everything from what do they really care most about. And that could include anything from, I really want Aunt Sally to be taking photos of a lot throughout the whole wedding day because she lives in New Jersey and I don't get to see her a lot. And it could be like, I want a lot of photos of the location because it's super beautiful, blah, blah, blah. Those are really important. In this situation, we're talking about wedding family photos. And I always recommend getting this shot list, and it's just a list of all of the combination of photos the couple wants. Because ultimately on the wedding day, you don't want to be asking the couple like, oh, do you want photos with Aunt Sally? Do you want it with all of the cousins? Do you want it with the siblings? Having that list of photos so that you can be in charge. You can be saying, oh, I need the siblings next. I need all of the groomsmen's side. I need all of the bride's side. Knowing exactly what needs to come next and knowing the structure of each photo is super important. So have that shot list beforehand. Tip number 5, know the timeline of the day better than anyone. When showing up to the wedding, you should know the structure of the day to a T. So I always ask the couple for a detailed list of every time-stamped point of the day. Yes, wedding days need to be fluid because things happen, but at least knowing exactly by 4:40 we need to be taking family photos, and then by 5:10 we need to be back so that the reception dinner can start. Because if you don't know these time frames and you're with the couple and you're taking photos far away and you just are eating through the night and people are waiting at the reception because the couple's not back, and it's because of you, because you didn't know the time frame that the family and the wedding and everything is falling behind. You never want to be the reason why the wedding day has a problem. You want to be able to answer the question. Let's say the couple's like, oh, do you know when the cocktail hour is supposed to finish? Being able to answer those questions quickly and easily makes you look way more professional. So know your time frames, know your scheduling, and have that on the top of your mind. What I would always do would be make it my lock screen for the day on my phone that I could quickly look at it as well. So tip number 6, moments over perfection. Again, what does that mean? Moments over perfection is the idea that as a photographer, we sometimes get really sucked into feeling like every photo needs to be perfect. But ultimately, on a wedding day, everything is really stressful. It's overwhelming. So many things are happening at once. What you really need to be concerned about is making sure that you capture special moments of the day. What does that mean? That means going and walking around, finding candid moments between the grandmother and the grandchild, and they're, talking at dinner, or the couple is laughing at their sweetheart table during dinner, and it's just one of those only moments they're alone together throughout the whole wedding day. Looking for those moments throughout the day, throughout the night, the couple actually wants to look back at. Because yes, you can take 1 trillion photos of people eating. Sure, that's great. But ultimately, I want to look back at the photos of the couple hanging out with their best friends for the first time in a year because they haven't seen each other, or the mom and dad of both the groom and bride talking to each other and hanging out and knowing that they're going to be a family now. Finding those moments is what you're there for. Keep that in mind, because sometimes you will get lost in trying to make the best photo possible or having the right ISO, but finding those moments is what your purpose as the wedding photographer is. So, hopefully you've learned something from this video. Please, if you want a part 2 on this video or on a specific topic about weddings, please leave it in the comments down below. Like this video, and I will see you next time. Peace.